said our cycle our market maker cycle goes like this. 3 pushes. Ndizo 1, 2, 3. Ndizo. And we said we don't expect to see a reversal until and unless we know that the previous cycle has been completed. And when we're talking about the previous cycle, we're talking about the three H1 pushes. Is that clear? Now my computer is playing around again. Now, if you look at this, cycle that we have here, I told you to place a buy on euro on volatility 10. Ndizo. That's what I told you.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to show you and what I wanted to teach you is never trade against the trend. Ndizo. Now, if you look at this, we had our first push here, this previous cycle. Are you seeing it? And we had our second push. We had our third push. And they gave us a peak here. Are you seeing this? And they gave us this M here. And they gave us the first push on this day. Now, these lines that you are seeing are demarcating days. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are. And you had your first push here, and they pulled back to the 50 EMA. Are you seeing that? And they even gave you a pin on the 50 EMA. Are you seeing that? To signal that we are now going down. And they gave us what? A second push. They pulled back again, but we don't consider this a pullback. This is what they did today. They pretended like they're going up. They went down. They created what looked like a W to induce people so that they think we are now reversing. Is that clear? And they went for the 50 EMA. This is as good as a bounce on the 50 EMA again. Why? Because sometimes, and most of the time, the moment we leave the peak, after every ADR, they'll pull back to the 50 EMA. And we said we call this what? An ID50. This one. And after giving us this ID50, we rallied down like this. And today they gave us what looks like a W. And they rushed to the 50 EMA like this. This one. And we have to break this area of yesterday's push. Or let's just say we have to break this area so that we can say we have a what? So that we can say we have a third push.
Third push.
And after bouncing on the 50 EMA, they started going down. Are you seeing this? Pulled back a bit, they went down, and they broke this level. This one. Now, when you see something like this happening, when you're on the third push like this, I want to tell you a secret of what you do so that you know that you are now supposed to buy. This one. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you what to do. Now, this is what you do. This is what you do. Now, are you ready for this? I want you to listen carefully on this one. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
You switch to the M15 time frame. This one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you switch, okay, it's taking a bit long to switch. It's taking a bit, exactly. Now let's zoom out like this. Now this is what they did. This is what they did. They gave you a peak on this day. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
They gave you this peak. This one. And they
Mm-hmm.
pushed once. This one. And they pushed twice on the same day. And they pushed thrice on the same. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? The 50 and the 200 crossed.
To signify peak low.
Signify the peak lock. And they pulled
Low.
back like this. And I said, while they are pulling back to the 50 EMA on D1, on H1, they will be pulling back to the 50 M to the 200 EMA on M15. On H1, they pull back to the 50 EMA. This one, they pull back to the 50 EMA. And on M15, they pull back to the 200 EMA. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Now look at what they did on this day. Now we say this is the first day, this of the push. This is the second day. This is the third day. This is the fourth day. Those are artillery.
Mm-hmm.
This one. And we said normally is
Mm-hmm.
2.5 to 5 days. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at what happens here. After giving you the second leg here, they went down like this for the first push. This one. And they put back and they started consolidating. This one. And they gave you the second push. This one. Put back like this, and they gave you
Mm-hmm.
the third push. Is that clear? And when we're
Yeah.
counting these pushes, we count the higher highs. This is the first higher high, the second consolidation, and this is the third consolidation. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
And they gave you a third push like this. And they gave you this third push today. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And they rallied back like this, started consolidating, gave you what looked like a W. Why? Because they wanted to rush back to the 200M. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what did they do? They gave you one push, this one, and
Mm-hmm.
they started consolidating like this, consolidating, and they gave you this second push, this one, and they pulled back like this, and now they are giving you the third push. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And we expect tomorrow probably or today they will end the day consolidating like this one, and tomorrow they
Mm-hmm.
might pretend like they are now going up, form an M like this, pull back, give you a W like this. They can hit this level twice. This is the first hit, and this is the second hit. Is that clear? Then they
Mm-hmm.
start going, up, unless there is a reset. This
Mm-hmm.
is that clear?
Yeah.
So that is why I told you to place a buy on this pair. Why? Because I wanted to teach you that never trade against the trend. This
Mm-hmm.
never trade against the trend. Like this is what I was just saying now. Are you seeing this? On this day,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why this is happening, the reason why, okay, let me look for the annotate. Now, the reason why this is happening, this one, is probably because here the probably maybe gave you an M like this, gave you one push, this gave you second push. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
And they started dancing around like this. We don't have a third push yet. This, and they even came back to this second push and they brought it again, the second push like this, and they put back and they gave you the third push. Are you seeing it?
Mm-hmm.
And then they started going up.
Down. Up. Up.
So the secret that I'm talking to you about is that you may be seeing something like this on H1, and you think that since we now have a third push, okay, let me draw it clearly. You may be seeing something like this: first push and this, second push, third push. This
Mm-hmm.
one, two, three. This, and you can,
Mm-hmm.
because we now have a third ADR, we are now going up. But before you conclude that we are now going up, this is what you do. I said to you, one push on H1 is three pushes on M15. And this,
Mm-hmm.
which means three pushes on H1 are nine pushes on M15. Essentially, we are saying when we see this one ADR on M15, we have to see the three ADRs when we see this one ADR on H1, we have to see the three pushes on M15. And when we see this push, we have to see the three pushes on M15. When we pull back like this and we get this push, we have to see the three pushes also on M15. This one.
M15.
Now, so on this
Mm-hmm.
last push, this is where many people get trapped. And I used to be trapped like that also. Now, okay, let me rub this so that I can write something that is clear. When you get your M like this and you have your first push, second push, and third push, before you conclude that your three pushes are done, you have to check on M15 on this push, this third push. You go to M15, and this third push on M15 is supposed to be looking like this: two, three. This one.
Mm-hmm.
But we may be having two. We may be having. Okay, sorry. We may be having only. We may be having only. We may be having only two pushes on M15, and yet our H1 may be showing that we already have three ADRs. So you have to switch to your lower time frame. This, after switching to your
Mm-hmm.
lower time frame, you check could have they finished the three M15 pushes. This,
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. First push, this consolidation. This, second push.
Mm-hmm.
Probably this is a third push if this is clear enough. Or this is a second push. Why? Because they pulled back here. So you have to look for the three pushes on the last push of the cycle. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Look at even this part. They gave you this, they gave you a W like this. You seeing it? Pushed once, it is
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
back, gave you a W,
Mm-hmm.
pushed twice, put back, gave you a W, pushed thrice, and then they reversed. Is that clear enough, Mr. Leon?
Yes.
So here I'm teaching you how to catch. I'm teaching you how to catch the peak. I'm teaching you how to catch what? The peak.
The peak.
Now let me zoom it. I zoomed it out so that it may be clear to us on what happened today. We are saying that today they started by going down like this. And they gave you a W.
Mm-hmm.
Then they put
Mm-hmm.
back like this towards the 200M. Gave you an M.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you a push. But they came back to
Mm-hmm.
this level. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
Which means this is our first push. Which means Irwitika is our second push. Which means we have a third push. Then we can start thinking of what?
Reversal.
A reversal. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is what I wanted to teach you. This is what I wanted to teach you today. How to anticipate these moves.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that clear?
Very clear. Mafamba na Mwari because ndandatombobhabhatidzwa kuri yeumani
Kodo chidi
step
undiudza
index.
ichi V75.